Join me as I leave our country home setting and go into the city and search for Halloween decorations, but also mostly used books in the way of little free libraries. A picture book that I found is Tasha Tudor's Corkyville Fair. This is a score and a half. So we actually have Corkyville Fair, but we have a cloth bound hardcover with no dust jacket that I got on Thrift Books, and it actually has marker in it and all kinds of stuff. And so when I found this, I was ecstatic. As a family who bred and raised baby goats, we love this tale, and if you have kids, I would highly recommend trying to find a copy of this or getting it out from the library. It's just a cute little story, and of course, we love Tasha Tudor's artwork. So cute. I was so excited to grab this. I make sure to load up a box of books that I want to unhaul so that I am able to share the wealth. So I always make sure that if I take a book, I at least leave another book, if not two. And sometimes even in little free libraries that I don't take anything from, if there's room, I will oftentimes just leave a couple books in there. I think the best thing that I got is this Rosamund Pilcher omnibus. It has The Empty House, The Day of the Storm, and Under Gemini. And mine, from what it's saying on the outside, they are actual novels. So they're not short stories, I don't think, that were written in the 1970s. So in The Empty House, we have a character named Virginia who's 27, and she apparently has been married and then widowed after having children. And it says all she wanted to do was take her kids to the seaside, but her true love was there. So I'm not sure if we have paranormal in that, but it certainly seems like it. In The Day of the Storm, we follow Rebecca, who has discovered that she has family that she never knew. And so as she's getting to know her grandfather and her family, I think she's meeting other people in the family and dark secrets are uncovered. And then in Under Gemini, that one seems intriguing. So in this, we have twins, Flora and Rose, I believe. And Flora is supposed to be going and acting like she's her twin in order to meet the fiance's family. But it turns out that she discovers that her twin has been lying about something, and it actually affects Flora. And so that seems really intriguing. I love the idea of Under the Gemini, which is like the Gemini twin sign, and that there's a connection there. But this looks beautiful. I can't wait to dive into these. I'm guessing I will probably save them for probably next spring or next summer. But if you find a hardcover Rosamund Pilcher in a little free library, I feel like that is a score. I got Judith Redmond Robbins' Moonfire. This is set in a canyon. This is the story about a female Anasazi Indian who, it sounds like, has to use her ability of communicating with animals in order to save her people. And I think there is, a lot of familial drama with betrayal and jealousy and all of that. The cover, I think, really got me. who is the author of Wizard of Oz. And I think there's just a lot of these little tales that are in here, little short stories. It reminds me of Anthony Burgess, where he has those books about animals and flowers and birds, and each one is a different story. So I don't think that these are all connected. I think these are just little, each chapter is its individual story, but we'll see. I'm excited to read this. I did not know that Mr. Baum had a Santa Claus book. I am not opposed to double shelving where you have books behind books, but it does make me sad when you see books in little free libraries that have been torn or are not very well cared for. I did not pick up this Little Rascal by Sterling North because we already had a copy of it, but I am kicking myself because I should have grabbed it and then just shared it with a friend because it is such a wonderful story. There's an Owl in the Shower by Jean Craighead George. She's the one who wrote My Side of the Mountain and a whole bunch of wild animal tales. I did not know that she had an Owl in the Shower book. And let me show you some of the artwork. She does do a lot of times her own artwork, but this one was illustrated by Christine Merrill. So I think the artwork is a little bit dark, but so cute. My kids are excited to read this. This will be a quick read, and then we decide, is it cute enough to stay on our shelf? Then I grabbed Old Wolf by Avi, and in this we have, I think, anthropomorphized wolves who are, we learn about the wolf world with how they eat and how they raise their young. And then I think there is a boy, a teen, who crosses paths with them. And it says on the back that this is one of Avi's most dramatic tales, which I've read a few of Avi's books. So if that's the truth, that's intense. This is illustrated by Brian Flocka, who I love his illustrations. So he's actually a Caldecott Medal winner. So again, this is a great book. It looks like it would be perfect to read in the winter and probably a pretty quick read. So that's exciting. All right, so next I have Foxcraft by Inbali Iserles, The Taken. This is the first book in a series. This again is also anthropomorphized foxes. So you can tell here, I think this fox, I'm not sure if she has magical capabilities or not, but I'm guessing so. These foxes live outside of the furless area, which is the human area, but apparently this fox ends up in the city with other foxes, and so I think there's a lot of danger within the fox world and then also with living with humans. This also just looked really cute, and I figured, oh, I love the rain. With this being a free book, it would be a great choice. And then last, I have Bob by Wendy Mass and Rebecca Stead. Rebecca Stead has written a couple books that I have read. There is some sort of like weird green goblin that is in this. Bob is a short greenish creature dressed in a chicken suit. So I don't know. It seems a little bit weird, but I trust Rebecca Stead because, again, I've read some of her works before, and the cover was just too good to pass up. I love the sepia tone in it, so I grabbed that as well. I was feeling a little bit like maybe I wasn't finding so many treasures at the little free libraries on this day, so I decided to pop into a couple community aid stores to see if there were any used books that I could grab for a really great price. Also, why couldn't I have found this a couple months ago before I bought it from Thrift Books? All right, I have stopped. I've gotten an apple orchard, which is a chai latte with apple and maple syrup, and it is delicious. I love autumnal drinks. So, from the used bookstores, I got True and Nell, which is a Christmas tale, a novel by G. Neri. And this tells the true story of the friendship between Truman Capote, who was an author, and Harper Lee, who was most famously known as the author of To Kill a Mockingbird. I think their friendship was volatile, and I think at the end of their life, they actually were not on speaking terms. But as children, my understanding is they did have a friendship. I read one of Truman Capote's Christmas memories, novellas or short stories, And his childhood was fraught with a lot of trauma. And so it really is understandable that they would not be able to maintain a friendship. I think he dealt with a lot of issues, and maybe Harper Lee did also. But anyway, this is the sequel, is the second book in this series of them in their childhood. But it does say on the back that this can be a standalone. And I'm always looking for Christmas time reading books that I can just kind of put aside and figure out during the Christmas season if I'm in the mood to read it. And so I grabbed this. This was a lovely hardcover, and it was only $3. And then these 3 paperbacks I got for $1.50. I get a teacher discount being a homeschool mom, homeschool teacher, and I literally paid $1.50 for these 3. So that was exciting. So the first one that I wanted to share is I got Elizabeth Enright's Gone Away Lake. This is a Newbery Honor book. This is set in the summer, and there I think is a mystery to be solved. It's set in a swamp, I think. This really is your quintessential childhood of kids who are wild and free, collecting bugs and exploring. And there's like this abandoned resort that they discovered. And so I think there's a mystery there to solve. But I wanted to grab this, and I will pull it out again next summer. And then for reading in this winter, I got Ice by Sarah Beth Durst. No surprise, I loved her latest adult novel, The Spell Shop. I've read a couple of her other fantasy middle grades. This is also middle grade, and this is the East of the Sun, West of the Moon retelling, and it is titled Ice. And so in that story, it is a fairy tale that is also a romance where a girl is basically taken, I think, and I'm not sure in the original fairy tale, but a lot of the retelling, she has a choice. It's usually a very strong female character, decides to go with the polar bear to their lair. There's rules about how she interacts with the polar bear. I don't want to give too much away, but there's rules that end up happening. There's also a troll that's in the original tale that I also think is in this tale. And so I'm excited this winter to grab another Sarah Beth Durst. And then next I grabbed by Oliver Lafarge is Laughing Boy. And this is, I think, a Pulitzer Prize winning novel. And this is about Navajo natives who have a romance. So I'm intrigued by this. I don't know that much about the author. I think he's Caucasian. He visited the American Southwest and fell in love with the Navajo Nation and wrote a story about a young man named Laughing Boy and a young girl named Slim Girl, and this is their romance tale, and it is I think set only with Navajo natives. I am currently collecting books that are set in the American Southwest because as a family we are hoping to take our RV out to that area, and I just love to have books on location and really immerse myself into that experience. And so I grabbed this to hopefully read when I am out in the Navajo Nation. I love a beautiful autumn day, but I also love a rainy autumn afternoon. So let me know if you've read any of these books and if you have enjoyed any of them, or if you saw anything in the Little Free Libraries that you were like, oh, why didn't you grab that? Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.